Hello and welcome back to another video where I won't stop streaming. It's literally so... oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like running. Why was that so hard? It won't stop running, so if I look like I'm crying throughout the video, I'm not. It's just my streaming. I've still got stupid sty, everything is irritant. I know I should go to a doctor.
But with all this COVID-19 things and my anxiety, the two together goes, do not leave the house, do not go to the doctors. But I know I do have to, and I will. I just need to get the courage to do it. I always feel like I'm wasting, even before COVID to be fair, I always felt like I was wasting
time. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's not even the subject of the video. Shall we say hello? We shall say hello. Hello again. Said hello like 3 times already. You already know my name. And if you don't, I'm Keely. Nice to see you again. So today's video, which you probably didn't search for, as always, is going to be me reacting to a Nigerian wedding. So I'm not really on social media, but then sometimes I do go on the web browser and maybe check Twitter just from time to time, seeing as we're in the middle of a pandemic.
and Black Lives Matter and Pride Month and everything else in the world that keeps going.
So because of that, from time to time, really stupid, I do go online on Twitter. To be fair though, if you haven't known, I'm just talking like you already know. So if you don't know, the beginning of this year, January 1st, I went online on my personal Facebook and Instagram, like I have anything else, and I just let people know that I'm going to be taking a break from social media because I don't think it was very good for my mental health. I found myself very envious of what people are doing, what people have, etc., which is not very good. It's very much a sin, but I thought it was healthy to come off, which I have been doing very well up until this month, because I think with Black Lives Matter exploding and things like that, I just wanted to be up to date and see how people are thinking and whatever else. Haven't really been on Facebook. I went on once to say thank you for birthday wishes because I knew it was inevitable. People are very kind to do so, but Twitter is something that I keep checking every now and then to see what's going on. So I did see this Nigerian wedding post. I haven't really watched it properly, so I'm going to watch it now and see what it's all about. And yeah, let's get into it. I've got my partner's phone because I'm recording on mine, and I had an old phone, but it's glitching even more than it was before. So I got my partner's old phone, which I not really use. So we'll see how it goes. Cool, let us get into it. Right guys, going off. I love how much they're getting into this, it's great. How could you not sing along to that? So this was a very quick video. It was like 23 seconds long. What can you say? I'm a black person with Nigerian heritage on my father's side. So my father's father was Nigerian. And I've never been to a Nigerian wedding. I know there's stuff about like matching colours and things like that, but I don't really know what it's about. And seeing here, they're all in their outfits and stuff, and they are going off, some head banging, they're all singing along, and it's not like a few people. Man, it makes me so happy. And you know what makes me happier is that this was trending. More people can see that black people actually do like rock. Let's go. So there's another video, and this one is, I think, Asking Alexandra. Let's jump into it. Yeah, Asking Alexandra.
Let's go! Let's go!
So this is at another wedding. This is great. Oh my god.
This is great. Amazing.
Do you know what I love about this as well? It's not just the men. the women are getting involved. They are getting involved, guys. My man has a Black Panther kind of chain thing. Okay, I'm looking at it again. I'm like, I sound really ignorant because clearly it's not a Black Panther thing, but it's what came to mind. I'm a Marvel fan and DC. Don't judge me. Love it. Amazing. God, like, guys, those videos make me so happy as an alternative Black person, and especially as they were going viral, because it honestly shows people that we're no different. There's no certain uniform, there's no certain behaviour, no way. I think a lot of the time Black people, especially Black women, are pigeonholed into having to like R&B and rap and have big gold earrings and I don't know, the other stereotypes that come along with being a Black person. And it's not like that, because no person is the same. No person on earth, no matter your colour, you are not the same as somebody else. Even if you're an identical twin, your fingerprints, I don't know why I went with my thumb, your fingerprints are completely different. So yeah, no one's the same, everyone's different. And I think by this going viral, it shows that, I don't know how to put this in words, it shows that we are all unique. We should not be excluded from the things we love. And I think that's very important. This is not just towards people that are not people of colour. I really do hate that, because I think that the spectrum of colour is from white to black. But anyway, if you're white, it's not directed at white people, because Black people also exclude other Black people for liking rock or for dressing alternative. So for Black people, there is this thing of, and I was saying it earlier, that you're supposed to be quite ghetto, which I hate. I don't think you should really behave a certain way just because of where you live or whatever. And we don't really have ghettos in the UK. We have more like council estates and things like that. And I am from a council estate. It was a weird council estate though, I'm not gonna lie. It was like its own little bubble where it would be a council estate, but it's also felt like it was a bit in the countryside because it was on the cusp of London. Yeah, so there's a certain way I'm supposed to act as a council estate Black person, and as a Black person in particular, in the eyes of some people, stereotypes being, like I said earlier, the attitude, really rude or rude girl, the way I wear my hair, big gold earrings, liking fried chicken, R&B and slow jams, whatever it is. I'm not saying I don't like these things. I mean, not the chicken, I'm a vegetarian, but like I haven't worn big gold hoop earrings in a while, but I have worn them in the past, probably through my plugs. And that hoops, they're nice. I don't wear them often, but I like them. I do like all music, comes with the territory of being a musician. I'm going to use that lightly because I don't really play instruments as much anymore. But yeah, so I don't really fit into that Black category box. And what that does growing up, because the representation or the stereotype of a Black person is perpetuated as the things I've said prior in media, I don't see myself represented, and therefore I think that people like me do not exist. It's only when the internet came, because remember, I'm 31. When the internet became popular in like mid 2000s, and getting onto things like Hi5, Bebo, MySpace, whatever it was, and starting to see, even though it was still very small, but starting to see people that look like you and behave like you and like the things you do, the music you do, that was when it was like, I'm not the only person that like this. And I don't know why I was feeling that way, because if we look at music and we look at rock and go back, the influences from Black culture, from Black music, I think within the Black community, and I've had it from some white people, but mostly from Black people, because there is that whole colourist thing, but there's also that whole, I don't know what it is, and I don't know why Black people do this to ourselves. You put others down for not being a certain way, and I'm hoping it's changing. I think it's changing, but it used to be very strong, especially in the early noughties, with things like, if I was around a crowd and I wasn't doing the things that they're doing, or I'm dressing like I express myself, it would be like, oh, you're an Oreo, or oh, you're a Bounty. And if you're a Black person that's alternative and you're watching this video, I think you've heard these words before. So you'll be like, oh, you're not really black, or you're acting white. What is acting a colour? Please tell me. How am I meant to act black? How am I meant to act white? Is there a code we're given when we are born a certain skin colour?
Here you go, here's a book, here's how you have to act this way.
I'm coming across as an angry black person. That's not what I meant. But it has really irked me throughout my life that there is no way or no certain way to behave just because my skin has a certain amount of pigment in it. It's bullshit. So yeah, you've probably heard these terms, and they're really annoying, and it shouldn't be that way, because like I said, the music comes from black culture, the look comes from black culture, or other cultures that aren't particularly Western white. So yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper. So I had to do a bit of digging, just to make sure I get, or seem like I know what I'm talking about. So I went to Google and I did a bit of digging. I did study music practice, but music practice is exactly what it says. It's practicing your instrument. We do a little bit of theory, but the majority of the course was practical, and it was to do with honing your skills as a performer, honing your instrument, and also producing as well. So there was music business, and there was like some essays involved, but I wasn't really attentive as a child, or as a teenager, so I didn't really pay that much attention to that part. So I went to Google and I tried to find out where rock began. And what it told me was, and I've got some notes here, so Charlie Christian was an American swing and jazz guitarist, and he had a way with the way he performed. So he had a single string technique that he combined with amplification, and that kind of paved the way for the guitar to not be seen as a kind of background instrument, but more bringing it to the forefront. So Wynonie Harris, don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm really sorry if I'm not. Wynonie Harris was an American blues shouter, and he was also a rhythm and blues singer of upbeat songs. Wynonie covered a song by another musician called Roy Brown called Good Rocking Tonight. Now this song was originally done by Roy Brown. Then that was covered by Wynonie, who released it and changed it up a little bit. And that was then gaining a little bit of population. That was picked up by Elvis Presley, who I'm sure you guys know, as a second single, and it sounded a bit like this.
Well, I heard the news, that's good to rockin' tonight. Well, I heard the news, that's good to rockin' tonight. I'm gonna hold my baby as tight as I can. Tonight she'll know I'm a mighty, mighty man. I heard the news, that's good to rockin' tonight.
Chuck Berry, a name I'm sure you're familiar with, he kind of made playing guitar more of a showmanship. He developed solos. He was seen as a major influence in rock music. Not only are these names that I've already mentioned influences in rock music, but we're forgetting about other bands and other people of colour as well. So you've got the likes of Slash from Guns N' Roses, great guitarist. He is of mixed heritage, part black, and he's up there, but I think people kind of see past that because he's, I wouldn't say he's a white person, but kind of. If you're not looking for it, you're gonna miss it, but his hair should tell you that he is not completely white British. So we've got Slash, we've got Andy Anderson from The Cure. I mean, come on, you don't get more goth than The Cure, yet black people are told, oh, you can't be goth. Not by other white goths, I'm just saying in general, a lot of black people are ridiculed by other black people for identifying or dressing as a gothic person, they're not church, as a goth, or someone who's darkly inclined, And sometimes you get it from the white goth world as well, that black people can't be goth because they're not able to be pale, whatever. The whole thing's darkness. I don't think you get more darker than black, to be fair. But yeah. You've got Dave from Sum 41. He's also, is he a guitarist or bassist? I'm terrible. I think he's a guitarist. I think the tall guy, because Derek's a guitarist. The tall guy, I don't know all their names, guys. It's been a while, okay? Sum 41 was my band when I was younger, but I've never really stand bands, if that makes sense. Like stand as in like fan obsessively, because musicians are musicians, they're making great music, but I don't worship people, if that makes sense. So I think Dave is a guitarist. He's of Asian descent, he's Canadian, and he was representing in the 90s. I remember seeing him and actually going, do you know what? And that was my kind of representation, like a band I really like, has a person of colour in it. I don't want people to tell me that I'm not allowed to listen to this music if someone on my album cover is someone of colour. I think these guys pursuing their dream, and I'm pretty sure there's many women in rock as well. Skunk Nancy even from Skin. Oh, I'm terrible at this. This is why I need to research, right, guys? Skunk Nancy, and there are other black ladies in rock as well. But I've seen mainly just men as the big names. I think they should be enough to show the world that black people should be allowed to listen to rock, yet people are still shocked by this Nigerian video. So I think it's good to kind of remind ourselves of where rock and roll really began, and then pave the way for like punk and ska and new metal and screamo and whatever else. I think when I think of legends in rock that are people of colour, I really do not like saying people of colour, that are people with more melanin in their skin. I think of Jimi Hendrix and the fact that he was doing his thing and he had his afro, and like you really saw representation there. It's, yeah, a legend in its own right. Speaking of appearance, so obviously I think fashion, especially for teenagers and for young adults, it kind of came around in the 50s, right? The age of the teenager when it first began. And that is very much influenced by the music they listen to. So if you listen to a certain type of music, more likely going to dress a certain kind of way. Doesn't always work that way. I mean, I'm a big fan of the YouTuber Tax, and if you look at her, you'd be like, yeah, she listens to rock, the girl loves old school garage, and I love that about her. But like, you can't judge a book by its cover. But the majority of the time, not even the majority of the time, but a lot of the time, if you like rock, you'll dress a certain way. If you like hip hop, you'll dress a certain way. If you like goth, industrial goth music or black metal, you'll dress a certain way. If you like classical music, odds are you're going to dress a certain way, right? Fashion is very much influenced by music, I think. I like to dress comfortable, but my style, I think, is influenced more from the rock side of the music. Like I said before, I like all music, and my favourite genre, I think, as I've gotten older, I've realised is soca. I think that is because of my culture and my family and my heritage, and it's just a music that always makes you happy. However, my second love, I think, is rock and roll. Not rock and roll as in like Elvis Presley rock and roll, I mean like pop punk, right? And I think that more influences my fashion, from plugs to, oh, I mean, this is a wrestling top, but the things I have, like the Ouija boards and stuff like this. So I think it definitely influences you. My piercings, I mean, I don't have as many as I used to, but it still, I think, influences that a lot. And again, I think black people are vilified by other black people for dressing a certain way. And again, those words of Bounty and Oreo and you're not black enough, or you're not dressing in a black way, is used against you when you're expressing yourself through the music that you like. So let's look at, really quickly, because I know this video is dragging, but let's quickly look at the influences and the fashion that comes along with rock music. And again, I think a lot of it comes from other cultures that aren't really like British or American. It's from outside of that. So things like these, for example, ear stretching. This is something that the Maasai tribe is very known for in Kenya. It's seen as beautiful. I personally think it's beautiful. I'm planning to go bigger. I'm really lazy and I haven't started tapering this, but I've already bought the ones I want to go up to, and it's much bigger than what's in my ear right now. this comes from an African culture, and a lot of the times a lot of black people will be like,
why are you doing that to yourself? And
like, do you not know it's our people that have started it? It's not a white thing, it's a thing that people use to express themselves, and anyone can do it. It's not appropriation. I'm not saying it's cultural appropriation at all, but we got to recognise where we get our ideas from, you know. Alongside that, tattoos. This keeps coming on show. I've got tattoos all over. Literally wish I could get more, but do you know what? I'm a parent. My body ink can wait. I need to make sure my kids are good first. I want to get my car and finish my driving. So yeah, tattoos are a bit on the back seat right now, but I've got so many ideas. I've got my whole sleeve planned out. I've got a leg sleeve planned out. So yeah, it's not like I'm not going to stop getting tattooed. I'm just financially not getting tattooed right now. The oldest tattoo was found on Icelandic. I know it's got a D in it, but I can't say it. Icelandic body, I think it's Ortaz, I didn't write it down. And this mummy is like 5 millenniums or something ago. Is that right?
I don't think that's right. Is it 5,000? I think it's 5,000 years, not 5 millenniums.
This is why I needed to pay attention in school. But it was a long time ago, okay? So it was like BC. So they found tattoos on that body, and then again the ancient Egyptians, they're the second one, and again Egypt is in Africa. A lot of Polynesian tribes, they have tattoos, so it's not like it's purely a white American or British or Australian thing. It is something that is done all around the world, and people of many colours like to basically scar or permanently paint their skin as a form of remembering things, or like remembering stories, or celebrating things, or just doing it because they find the art beautiful. And that's okay, and anyone should be allowed to do it. It does often go hand in hand with rock music, and that's okay too. So with all that, this long ass video that I've been recording, I'm very glad that there are still organisations out there like Afropunk that are showing other black people that it's okay to be this way, and I think in recent years it's definitely become more of the norm. I think when Rihanna started wearing like DMs and tattoos and whatever, and other people started doing it, actually started to become more mainstream to have chokers or to get certain piercings or whatever. So I think it's starting to shift, and it's becoming more of a people are allowed to dress however they want, and that's great. Yeah, I'm glad for Afropunk for a way of showing that people with afro hair or melanin why did I say melanin like that? Melanin can enjoy rock music or alternative fashion, and that's absolutely fine. Again, about the videos, like I'm so glad that these Nigerian videos exist. I personally, I don't know if I'm gonna have rock at my music, because we're planning. I'm not even engaged, guys, but I'm allowed to plan. He said I'm allowed to plan. We're planning
to have 2 weddings, one smaller one, and then like a reception, so not 2 weddings really. And one of them, I'm very open to the idea of having wrestling, so it won't necessarily be rock, but a bit of rock will probably be played then. So yeah.
So there will probably be some rock at my wedding. And it's absolutely normal. This video has shown that black people enjoy rock, black people like rock, black people are part of rock.
Black people are part of I can't speak.
Black people are part of founding rock. I'm glad it's still enjoyed by black people as well. As a black alternative person, I've gone through many looks, some very questionable. I took up playing instruments because I really enjoyed it. I started with the drums and then moved on to guitar. Keyboard has always been there throughout. Vocals have always been there throughout. I feel like I shouldn't be deterred because I'm a person of colour, and I'm glad that there are those legends basically and founders that I can look up to as a person of colour, as a black person, as a person with melanin, and be represented and feel okay. And I think things like this, so this picture is me on a snakeboard. The wheels are broken, the things were going, it was 20 years old. It wasn't even mine, it was my older sister's, but she wasn't using it, so I took it, sorry. But yeah, so I had this board since I was 10 and it broke like 3 years ago. And I took this picture maybe 5 or 6 years ago now. And I put it on my Instagram, and my Instagram was public. And someone took the picture and they put it on this Instagram page they had for people that they thought were ugly, and I was on it because I was black and alternative. That was it. It wasn't my features were ugly. I was ugly because I was black and alternative, and like the caption was something along like, oh, she's trying to be rock or something along those lines. I can't remember, it was a while ago. But I was just like, you're not for real. Like, I'm being vilified for doing something I love, which is snakeboarding, for dressing a certain way. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? But luckily, well, I don't know, actually, I'm not on Instagram or anything anymore, but I'm hoping that that's not really a thing anymore, especially during this time of Black Lives Matter and kind of bringing to the forefront which things could be seen as microaggressions or racist. So I'm hoping things like that have been nipped in the bud. Thank you for watching this very, very, very long video. Guys, I'm not going to tell you to like or subscribe because that's up to you. I'm giving you the freedom of choice. I may change my mind down the line. If you want to subscribe, fair dues. Then you'll be able to know that I've got a new video out. If you don't, fair dues. If you want to like it, do. If you don't, don't. But take care of yourselves, love and be loved, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Quickly. Or not, because there's a motorbike going down into the underground car park and it likes to rev up really loudly. I'm just gonna wait. I don't know if you can hear it, that's the camera, it's freaking annoying. He's right off into the sunset. Anyway.
This top has been falling more and more as the video's gone on. The influences, the lighting's going to go because it looks like it's about to pour down. Oh my god.
Well, like rock, black people are part of rock, black people are part of I